Hey everybody, hello and welcome to another edition of Dan and Frankie Go to Hollywood, which is a very appropriately named podcast considering the movie that we're about to talk about. So yes, my name is Dan,
And I'm Frankie.
and today we're going to be continuing our journey along the road of Kevin Smith's Askewniverse films, aka the ones with Jay and Silent Bob in them, and we are up to Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. But before we get into this one, I have a question for you, Miss Frankie.
hmm
All
Well,
right,
I've had
so
a few mouthfuls of coffee, so hopefully my brain is working enough.
let's see how you go. All right, so obviously, this is one of the most meta films that has ever been made. And we've got absolutely brilliant Good Will Hunting, to hunting season happening within it. And it got me thinking, what would you say is, or, some of the better examples of movies within movies? Um,
Wow. Yeah, that's a good question to spring on me.
it is a good question to spring on you. Because I mean, there's a lot of examples.
Give me
But
some then.
Well, you got Stab, which was or the Stab series within the Scream films,
Mm.
which were just, I think, so cleverly done. Last Action Hero almost had like a whole movie universe within a film kind of a thing. There was. I'm trying to think of the one from Inglorious Bastards, the Nazi propaganda film, which was really cool. But I was also thinking of like with Grind, probably I think my favorite examples were in the Grindhouse films, all the fake trailers that they had, which of course, then one of them actually became a film, which was Thanksgiving. And yeah, there was so many really good ones. In Tropic Thunder as well did that thing at the start of the film where they had a whole bunch of really cool trailers as well. So yeah, there's quite a few. Like
One Cut of the Dead, I guess.
mm,
Um,
I
because
haven't seen that one.
that's a you really need to see that
I
one.
really do need to see that one. I've heard so many
Yeah.
good things about it. Yeah.
I can't say anything about it, but you know,
Mm.
it relates to movie making, so
Hmm.
it
Yeah, yeah,
counts.
right.
Um, Yeah, I don't know. I'm not good at just thinking off the top of my head. What's all the movies that have movies in them? Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, the film we're about to talk about is also a really great example. So now you haven't seen Good Will Hunting, have you?
No, I was meant to see it before this one, but it snuck up on me and I ran out of time.
Right, right, fair enough. Oh, that's such a shame because yeah,
Yeah, no, I realized that, but I was cramming in movies, so I just
no,
didn't
that's
have
fair
time
enough.
to fit in another one.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, if anything, it's possibly going to make your first viewing of Good Will Hunting quite entertaining. Because that smarmy guy with the ponytail, he's actually from Good Will Hunting, and yeah, the whole how do you like them apples thing and everything, like that was all from Good Will Hunting. So yeah, it's going to make a very interesting experience for you, that's for sure. Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, what do you say we get stuck into this one because I'm very keen to talk about this film. Um, so yeah, Jane. So actually, I really need to bring up my letterbox so I can get like facts and figures and stuff.
It's facts and figures. So you can read the synopsis.
No, I'm not going to read the synopsis
Oh, wow.
because I know because I oh my God, it
You
is.
like doing that, so I expected it.
For movies that I haven't seen 137 times, this movie I have seen so many goddamn times. Actually, no, if anything, I'm trying
Well, I
to.
mean, there's not much of a plot to it
There isn't much of a plot to it, no.
to summarize.
If anything, it was more 2000. Yeah, I was trying to remember what, and yeah, me of all people trying to remember the release year, but I thought it was around 2000, so 2001. So anyway, yes, this film, written and directed by Kevin Smith, and it concerns Jay and Silent Bob, who find out that they have been missing out on a whole bunch of royalty payments because there's a movie being made of Blunt Man and Chronic, which is the comic book that Holden and Banky from Chasing Amy created, based on their likeness. And so, yeah, they basically have to travel to Hollywood to try and stop this movie from being made. But along the way, oh, man, this movie, there are so many things that happen in this film. Jay finds romance with a character named Justice, played by Shannon Elizabeth, who is part of a jewel thieving gang. There's a subplot involving a monkey and a wildlife marshal, played by Will Ferrell, and man, so much to unpack in this film. So yeah, we're gonna get right into this one. When did you see this one in cinemas or
I don't remember.
Okay, fair
I don't
enough,
know.
fair enough. No, yeah, so obviously, this one came off the heels of Dogma, and I just, yeah, at the time of its release, I was so all over this film because, I'd heard about all these things about how they're bringing back so many different people from, all the past films. And well, this film was actually meant to be the final View Askew film, which is, of course, why you get that little bit at the end of the credits where God closes the book on the Askewniverse. And it wasn't until Kevin Smith sort of finally had this idea for a storyline for Clerks 2 that he was like, okay, maybe I'll dip my toes in that pool once again. It's also the film that Kevin Smith nearly didn't shoot because the one condition of making this film was that Jay got clean. Because Jay really wanted to do it, but Smith said only on the condition that you know, get sober and go into recovery and all that. And he did. This film was actually kind of the first step towards Jay's complete recovery, so that was pretty cool. Um, but yeah, like, what are some of your favorite parts of this? I mean, there's so many things that happen in this movie.
Oh, okay. Well, if we're doing it in this way and just jumping all over the place, I think that okay, well, uh, Ben Affleck is great.
Hmm.
I he did some fun things, and there was some fun things that felt like people like just felt like actors doing a thing rather
Hmm.
than characters.
Yeah.
Like when Ben opens the door and does his J impression, and then
Yeah.
he's just kind of like, "Yeah, that's it, come in," and it was just like it felt very Ben rather than
Hmm.
Holden just doing the thing.
I agree. It didn't feel at all like Holden McNeil, but whatever. Yeah.
And then we get the Phantoms thing, of course, that is
That's
way,
where it
way
all came from.
overused in the thing. But also later in the film, it's good because Jay yells that out at Ben when they're on the set
Mm.
and tells him how great he was in Phantoms. And I was like, yeah, if I met Ben, I would be sure to say that too.
Awesome. How long's it been since the last time you saw this film?
Um, I can tell you.
Oh, there. See, facts and figures.
Last time I watched it was in November 2020.
Okay, so not that long ago. I think it was longer for me, and I realized that because when we did our Dogma episode, in that one, I mentioned the Jay and Silent Bob were at their peak in that film. I was so wrong. I am taking that back because my God, they were amazing in this film, aren't they? Like, this is easily peak, like, and I've seen Clerks 2 and 3 not as long ago, and so I remember that. But no, this one I just think they were amazing. Jay's performance in this film is like I because it had been a while, I sort of forgot how funny this movie is. And there were some moments I had tears in my eyes. I was laughing so hard. I mean, that whole moment where they're at the counter of movies and Justice first walks in and you get the Bon Jovi song playing and everything. Like the way that Jay does that whole thing, like, the sort of dancing and then turns around, he's got the massive boner, even, but then like Silent Bob getting a cup to put over it and stuff. It's so silly, but I was just laughing my ass off. I mean, that was just one moment. There's so many things in this film that I just found utterly hilarious, but a lot of it was because of the performance of Jason Mewes. I just thought, yeah, he absolutely peaked in this film. Yeah, would you say that's about right?
Yeah, yeah, he's good. The opening of the film was a bit too much on the references to previous films.
Oh yeah.
Um, which was kind of annoying, like are you even supposed to be here today to Dante, and then
Hmm.
Brody with his, would you like a chocolate covered pretzel? And it's just
Very forced.
like, yeah.
Oh
And so I
yeah.
was just like, but then it's, better later on. But it's
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
just a few things at the beginning, and I was like, oh,
Hmm.
this is a bit much, but
Yeah. No, there's oh actually I can see that you and I both gave it 4 stars. That's the thing. Like
yeah,
I
see, the thing is,
mm.
I also got extra out of it this time because I watched an absolutely terrible movie right before I watched this.
All right.
And so I think that made it better. And I'm just like,
Yeah,
oh, this
right,
is
right.
so fun. I'm now having a good time.
It is so fun. That's the thing. Like it is
Because it
I
feels more like a bunch of people hanging out than a
it
like
does, doesn't it?
actual like narrative
Yeah,
story. Like it
yeah.
doesn't really matter what's going on because you're just there for the characters.
Mm. Well, that's the thing. Like, I mean, it is such a self-indulgent movie. I was almost going to say it's probably Smith's most self-indulgent film, but I actually think Jay and Silent Bob Reboot was even more so, if I remember correctly. I've only ever seen that one once. But
And we'll
yeah,
see when
all
we get to it.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, all of those references and lines of dialogue and everything at the start, like, yeah, just felt so forced. But you kind of get where he's coming from. I mean, at the time, he thought this was going to be the final Jay and Silent Bob movie, and so, it is a love
But
letter for the fans.
also, I feel like the stuff with Ben and the internet um, is like even more relevant now than it would have
Oh,
been when
yeah.
this movie came out.
I
And
was gonna say
all
that,
the
yeah.
description, all the people that go and talk about actors that they despise and yet can't
Mm.
stop talking about them and
Yeah, yeah,
all
yeah.
of that. And I'm like, yeah, the amount of energy some people spend just
Oh,
talking
yeah.
trash about things they don't like.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh, you don't need to.
Yeah, well, Smith did that as a kind of a catharsis in a way for all the people that basically badmouthed him on the internet and stuff. And so, but yeah, I mean that was 24 years ago, and it is still maybe even more
No,
relevant now.
yeah, I think it's more relevant
Oh
now.
yeah, because you and I have had this conversation about how the internet, in a lot of ways, is kind of killed, not killed, but diminished somewhat, people's enjoyment of films, because it's just
I
so easy
think
to.
it's just damaged society in general,
Yeah,
the internet.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
Mm.
you and I, we definitely share that opinion. And yeah, watching this film again now, it's just like, oh man, like this was ahead of its time. I mean, you're still getting films now. Even Superman from this year, like, has a whole reference to people, bashing things on the internet.
And yeah, it's like people that actively search things online
Hmm.
to find people talking about the thing they don't like so that they can tell them they're wrong. And I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
why would you want to
yeah.
be in such, I don't know. I wonder what these people's lives are like, that
I
they're just
know.
living in this negative space in their head when they could be searching out things they like and finding other people
Absolutely.
who like them and like
Mm.
sharing the love for films
Yeah,
instead.
yeah. So that whole thing, and of course, I love how that pays off at the end, where they like use the money just to buy airplane tickets to fly around to various places and beat the shit out of people. There's uh, on the soundtrack, which I'm going to get to the soundtrack soon because, oh my God, that album. There's a song called Kick Some Ass by Stroke Nine, which I think was playing in that montage at the end. And the music video stars Muse and Smith, and as you know, in full character, and they're sitting in their living room watching MTV or whatever, and just all of these shit music videos are coming on and stuff, and you know, like there's a typical boy band, there's an Eminem sort of character, I think some sort of pop princess or whatever. And every time Jay and Bob watch a video, they just sort of look at each other like, oh God, get up off the couch. You see a plane flying over, and then they go onto the set of the music video and beat the shit out of the musicians. So yeah, track that down. It is a really, really good music video. It's on YouTube, of course. But yeah, oh man, I don't want to talk about the soundtrack yet because we're still talking about the movie. Like I said, there's so much to talk about. Um, what are the cast? Should we get into the cast?
Okay, I was just gonna say one
Oh
thing I
yeah,
do love is people playing versions of themselves. So
yeah,
I do love Ben and Matt just playing themselves and
mm.
just like being jerks to everyone, or the thing with Ben and the hookers in his trailer or whatever that they've got the security guard has the code for.
That's what I mean. Like, things like that had me in stitches. There's so many really
Gus
fun.
Van
It's
Sant just counting money.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh man. I thought it was kind of bittersweet the scene where they had Wes Craven and Shannon Doherty together in one scene. I'm like, oh my God, like both of those people are gone. It's sort of like, wow. But yeah, I love also that Ben Affleck basically plays how many different like so he was Holden McNeil, he was himself. Was I think that was it, wasn't it? It was just the two
Yeah.
things, yeah. But I mean, it worked, you know. Like it is just the sort of film that you can do that sort of thing. Um,
Same with Jason Lee.
yeah, 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 exactly. I did like that they had him in the original Brody costume from Mallrats. I thought that was kind of cool. Like, a little silly, but whatever. Oh man, what else? Should we talk about the jewel thieves? Should we get into that?
I'll just say one thing. Jason
Yeah.
Lee also had a moment that felt like Jason Lee rather than I think he was Banky for that at the
Mm.
end, when Will Ferrell's got his arm around him and he's
Yeah.
like, contrary to what you've heard, I don't kiss guys. And then Will Ferrell says something back and
Mm.
calls him a hot shot or something like that. And he
Yeah,
just
yeah.
laughs and it
Yeah.
very, very much felt like Will was just cracking him up.
It
It
was.
didn't, yeah.
If you have a look at the outtakes, which again, that's also on YouTube, which is an amazing gag reel. It's actually got an intro by Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes as well. It was the one straight from the DVD. And there's a bit in that moment where they got Will Ferrell to say a whole bunch of different lines, and every single time Jason Lee just cracked up. So,
Mm.
yeah, that was absolutely real,
Yeah,
but
you
you
can
could
tell
tell.
because yeah, that laugh, you're like, that's not the character.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it worked, it was cool.
Well, it's that
Um,
kind of movie that you can leave stuff like that. That's
yeah,
that
yeah.
obvious and it's not like it doesn't
Mm,
hurt the film at all.
exactly, because it's a silly film and that's the thing, like they didn't pretend it was anything more than what it was, They didn't pretend it was some sort of highbrow comedy or whatever. Like it
Mm.
was just a bunch of slapstick fun. And almost like a, end of the year school breakup sort of a thing, like just get everyone back, like have a big party and put it on screen. And it's hard to be too critical of that, even though, yeah, it is a stupid film. It is self-indulgent. Some of the gags were just, so infantile, but um, if we're sitting there laughing at them, like, yeah. Um, so yeah, so as I was talking about before, the scene in movies where Shannon Elizabeth walks in and Jay just instantly falls in love with her. It and yeah, she invites him out to a van where she's there with Ali Larter, Eliza Dushku, and Jennifer Schwalbach, I think she will. Anyway, Jennifer Smith, Kevin's wife. And yeah, it turns out that well, they didn't. She didn't bring them along initially as patsies though, because they had Sean
No.
William Scott's character,
Mm.
who is amazing.
Yeah.
He's just like some kind of hippie sort
The
of.
this when he sings the line "I'm a noble rabbit," like
Hmm.
there's just the way his voice when he does that, I'm just like, how did you do that without laughing? Because
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
just
Well, again, in the
so
gag
funny.
reel, if you look at the
Yeah.
moment where he and Jay are sitting there and the character Brent says something, what was it? No, I just love animals.
Mm. Mm.
Every single time Jay just lost it, and I mean lost it, and they kept having to do it over and over and over again. So yeah, oh man, yeah, one of the best gag reels out there. But yeah, so there's this whole subplot where they wind up throwing Brent out, and so Jay and Bob are the new patsies because the girls are going to rob a jewelry exchange or whatever for a bunch of diamonds. But next door is a animal testing lab where they basically tell Jay and Bob to go and steal this monkey. And so I'm just
Do you
remembering.
know, every time you say monkey, I'm thinking of the scene where Will Ferrell turns up about the monkey and the sheriff was like, no, it's an ape. Orangutans are not monkeys.
Well, I'm just now thinking of Jay's little bit where he's like, I'm gonna get some pussy for stealing a little monkey. I, I love that that line is actually on the soundtrack album as well, which is just amazing. But yeah, so they're like, I mean, so this is Kevin Smith's most expensive movie at the time. I think it was 22 million it cost, and he put a lot of that on screen. A lot of it was obviously for, the crazy amount of actors that they got in this thing, but yeah, like there's some pretty elaborate sets and stuff, and so there's this whole jewel heist thing where you got all four women in black spandex, with the whole sort of cliched thing where they got to get across a room of lasers and stuff. And yeah, like that was looked really cool. That's what I mean. Like that whole scene was going so well until they ended it with a really stupid fart joke. And I was kind of like,
Mm.
really? Like, did you have to do that? But whatever. Out of those four, who was your favorite of the jewel thieves?
Well, I like Ali Larter the best, so
Oh yeah,
it was kind of her.
right,
So, but
right.
Eliza Dushku is, her character was
Mm.
um really interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of leaning towards Eliza, but I don't know. Might be because I'm just a fan of hers. But I thought though. Uh, Jennifer Smith, I thought was kind of meh.
Mm. Yeah, she
That
was
was,
definitely the odd one out whenever
yeah, that was
you saw them all
definitely a bit of
together.
nepotism there. Just, yeah, because I thought she was better in Clerks too. So she definitely stepped up in that. But yeah, I didn't think yeah, she just really stood out from those ones. It was kind of funny because like at the moment, I'm watching season 2 of Peacemaker, and James Gunn has put his wife Jennifer Holland in it. Of course, she was in the Suicide Squad and stuff as well. But the thing is with her, she is such a good actress, and just
Mm.
playing an amazing character. And every time you watch her, it's just like, oh wow, like yeah, absolutely. She probably was the absolute best person for that role. It wasn't just James Gunn throwing his wife in, just so he doesn't have to sleep on the couch. Whereas in this case, yeah, I definitely kind of think like, yeah, they could have done better, I reckon. If they had like four big name actresses for that thing, I think it would have worked better. But anyway, she improved. Oh man, what else is there to talk about?
Will Ferrell was
Yes.
like one of the most standout characters.
Oh my God,
Mm.
yeah. Yeah, I mean he was kind of, playing that typical Will Ferrell kind of thing. I've just got to look at I should have researched this beforehand because from memory, the character name Marshall, Will, and Holly was a breakup of three names like Marshall, Will, and Holly from something. So I'm just gonna have a quick look here because I'm trying to. Okay. Land of the Lost. The names of the family members are Rick Marshall, Will Marshall, and Holly Marshall. Okay. So yeah, that's where it came from. So I bet you didn't know that.
Didn't know that. Don't know what Land of the Lost is either.
It is it was a TV show that became a movie, I believe. Hang on, Land of the Lost. An alien dimension populated by dinosaurs and people from different eras of Earth's past. That was so. Yeah, there you go.
Hmm.
But no, I just remembered that that name was a portmanteau of different names. So yeah, um, yeah. So let's talk about him. I just I, I love that he's just so confidently stupid.
Hmm.
Like as wrong as he like. I mean, that whole thing where Jay and Silent Bob come out of the diner with the orangutan dressed in clothes and. Will and Holly's just like, no, 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 that is definitely a kid. And you've got, the sheriff played by Judd Nelson,
Hmm.
who, another brilliant, I don't know if I'd call it a cameo. It was more of a small role, really.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, who's just like, are you kidding me? Like, that
Hmm.
is clearly, Farrell's like, no, 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 no. And yeah, I love how, like, as Jay and Bob are walking off, sort of mid-sentence, he's like, fuck beans, that was them, wasn't it? It's like, oh my God, you are so incompetent. But yeah, just
Yeah,
just
he's
brilliant.
just like I haven't seen a huge amount of Will Ferrell things,
Right,
but
right.
he's obviously popped up in so many things that I've seen. But he's really good at doing that kind of comedy that
Hmm.
it's silly, but he makes it work.
Because he
So
does it with
it's
a sort
really
of
fun.
straight-laced kind of
Mm. Even
demeanor.
things like when he gets to the studio later and he gets out of the car and like is doing the action roll over the bonnet thing, which he can't do properly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, that was another thing as well that I love when Jay and Bob, after they do their whole presentation to camera about, the Clit Commander, um, it's another thing we can talk about. I love how when they're going across the parking lot, they're just doing stupid, like dodging and
Mm.
weaving and commando rolls and stuff for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Yeah,
Well,
but
because
yeah.
that's what you do when you're gonna break into a place.
But yeah, that was I do also love that uh the bit where I think it was Dushku's character is basically getting Jay to like setting him up to um do this thing to camera about the clit, which turns out is the what was it, the Coalition for the Liberation of Itinerant Tree Dwellers. Um, and yeah, so of course Jay's just like, absolutely got this whole bravado thing, like about how he's the clit commander. But just love that moment where he's like, I just take that and then I'm like, oh, you little fuck. I'm just I'm just imagining that dude in bed with a woman. Like, oh my God. Um, but that's what I mean. Just so many little nuances of his performance in this film that, yeah, was just hilarious. Um, oh man, what else? Well, so I was sort of thinking, like, in terms of this movie, like it kind of reunites a lot of different people, and so this film is, I, from memory, the first film since Return of the Jedi where we have Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher, not on screen together, but in the same movie anyway. Yeah, the whole hitchhiking setup with George Carlin, who is, again back in this movie where he's talking about, the unwritten rule of the road, which because he lives by the book and stuff, which is of course if somebody picks you up, you re return the favor by just watch the movie. Anyway, but even that moment where he gets in the truck and just the way that, his head's just, and it's only because it's George Carlin, just the way he's sort of like, I just love that moment. And so then Jay and Silent Bob get picked up by a nun played by Carrie Fisher, who is, yeah, due to some miscommunication, they find out that she lives by the book, which of course Jay thinks is the Book of the Road. So yeah, that ends rather hilariously. Again, it's it's a crass joke, but I think that one worked pretty well. Um, but yeah, so in one of the most glaring bits of self-indulgence, I think, was the introduction later on of Mark Hamill's character, who plays a villain named Cockknocker in the Jay and Silent, oh no, sorry, the Blunt Man and Chronic movie. Um, it kind of, I don't know, it irks me. Like, as soon as he emerges on set in costume and everything, the way it freeze frames and it's like, hey kids, it's Mark Hamill, applause or whatever. And it's like, dude, we know. Like, there's no need to do that. Did you think that was a little excessive?
Well, I wondered about it, but I just thought because it's so Star Wars obsessed,
Hmm.
they did a thing for it.
I
So,
know, I know. I just don't think they needed to put that bit in there, but um, yeah, but I mean, yeah, the whole thing. I did really love though that he pretty much just used his Joker voice from the Batman animated series for that character though. That was fun to listen to. But yeah, I don't know. a, a lightsaber fight ensues, which fuck it, why not? I love though that yeah, was it Chris Rock's character who said, George Lucas is going to sue the shit out of people or something like that.
mm,
Yeah, I thought that was pretty fun because yeah, around that time, that was when Lucasfilm were really cracking down on everyone who wanted to release anything that was kind of Star Wars related. Um, yeah, yeah. What else? Because I got more.
um, well, then we had Diedrich Bader as the security guy
Yeah,
at the studio, so it's always fun to see him. He used to be on, oh, was it the Drew Carey show with him and Ryan Stiles?
right.
And so that's how I first got to know him, and now he
Okay.
just keeps popping up in things that I
Yeah.
watch, and I'm like, hey, it's him.
Well, he's
So,
also Batman in the Harley Quinn animated series too, which is cool. But yeah, I love him in this that that whole bit where he's got Jay and Bob in that little alleyway and everything. He's like, okay, so you do that, and when you finish, say, "Ooh, what a lovely tea party." That's, that's another one of the things that just cracks me up every freaking time. So yeah, he was cool. Jamie Kennedy is in it as the assistant to Chris Rock's character, Shaka Luther King, who's the director of Blunt Man and Chronic. James Vanderbeek and Jason Biggs.
mm.
I love that whole scene. Like, yeah, did you love that?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
fun.
Mm.
Mm.
Because of course, yeah, when Jay and Bob are trying to escape from security, and there's the whole ET bike moment, which, silly, but what the hell? And they crash into the dressing room of Vanderbeek and Biggs, who are playing Blunt Man and Chronic in the film, and so yeah, there's a whole sort of standoff with them. But yeah, all the dialogue in that scene, I just thought was so much fun. And especially when Biggs is getting led away by the police and he's like, "I'm the pie fucker! I'm the pie fucker!"
Yeah, it was pretty fun. Like his whole thing was just being known as that guy. And so I always think it's, yeah, it's another thing of actors having fun with
Mm,
like things like that because
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
probably did really annoy him at the time, but that's
Yeah.
what was always brought up.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Um, Oh man, what else? What else? What else? There was also a cameo from Kevin Smith's daughter, Harley Quinn Smith, who
Mm.
was a toddler at the time. Do you know who she played in the film?
Yeah, she played Kevin Smith as a baby.
She did
Silent Bob
indeed.
as a baby, rather.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, which I thought was really cool. Actually, that whole opening scene, I just thought, yeah, was so funny. And it is absolutely going to be what our kids are going to turn out like.
Oh.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's inevitable. I'm sorry. But yeah, there was some. Uh, oh God, there was also I noticed Paul Dini, who was one of the guys who actually created the character of Harley Smith, was in it. I think he was on the
Character
set.
of Harley Smith.
Yeah, Harley Quinn. Whoops. Yeah, shut up. She got married. Yes. I mean, look at this. I'm even wearing this goddamn jersey. Like, that is outrageous. Look behind, like, yeah. Anyway, yes, who co-created the character of Harley Quinn, was in the film. There was also another comic book artist who I can't actually remember who it was now, but yeah. So there's like even oh, Joe Quesada. Oh yeah, that's right. He was the pizza delivery guy when the
Mm.
jewel thieves. Yeah, that guy. He's actually like a really really famous comic book artist. Um, so yeah, that's what I mean. Like, oh my God, the amount of people in this
Mm.
film.
Jon
Um,
Stewart as the news guy.
yep. Mm-hmm.
So that was fun.
Yep. Yep.
Because there's so
Um,
many things that you just forget. Like I didn't even remember Will Ferrell was in this.
oh wow.
Um, so people just turn up and I'm like, hey, it's them. Especially, yeah, it's funny. I laughed because we were talking recently about Happy Gilmore 2 and you said about
Mm,
there was too many cameos and then so this falls into that as well. Not too many, but just that there
mm.
is a lot. So
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah, especially at the end when everyone goes to the
yeah, all
premiere of,
the
and
mm,
yeah, wow, that was just like such a huge rush of previous characters and everything. But it was fun, like, yeah, I don't imagine that all of those characters would have converged together but yeah, again, like I said, if you think that this is going to be the last movie and you're having a big send off, then why not?
well, and yeah, also I guess because they're all friends, it's really easy for
Mm.
Kevin to just be like, "Hey, do you just want to come for the day and film this little bit?"
Yeah, 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 exactly. So yeah, I thought it was kind of interesting how there's this whole, you know, not a subplot, but a thing that they have where Jay and Silent Bob are so into Morris Day and the time. Like, you know, in previous installments of this, like Jay seems to be a pure metalhead and stuff, and then all of a sudden they're into Morris Day and the time, and it's sort of like, okay, why not? But it all pays off in that amazing finale. Did you just love that
Mm.
whole end sequence? Um, like the yeah, where the time is up on stage and they call Jay and Silent Bob up, and yeah, that whole thing was cool. But I, I know this is possibly going to sound silly, but I love so much that very final freeze frame, where they're on stage and there's sort of, turn and then it just stops there because yeah, it was meant to be the last time we were ever going to see them on stage. And I just thought, like, I don't know, there was just something about that shot that I just really love, It's probably because it was kind of a raw, candid sort of moment. It wasn't them posing for camera or anything like that. It was just like a really nice moment. Um, but yeah, let's get on to the music in this film, shall we? Because when this movie came out, I bought the soundtrack on CD, and Yeah, it got played. Let me just put it this way. Did you love the soundtrack in this film?
Um, I guess so. I don't remember
Oh, really?
disliking it.
There were so many. I mean, Bon Jovi, come on. You love
Well,
that moment,
yeah,
right?
obviously. I don't know what the
Yeah.
soundtrack is, but yeah, you play a Bon Jovi song in a movie, I'm happy. But
Well, I recommend it's on Spotify, and they've actually got the whole thing, including all the voice clips in between. Because I think I said way back when we did our review of Phantoms, about how I knew that line so well because it was on the soundtrack album for this movie, and so I heard that Affleck
I
Phantoms
knew it
line
well because
so
the
much.
first time I watched it, I was like, hey, Phantom's Love.
Yeah, you don't think there was some irony in there though?
No.
Okay,
No,
fair
I
enough,
know.
fair
I
enough.
know that I've watched videos with Ben talking about his films, and I know it's kind of that, it's sort of like Armageddon, though, that I think he sees the fun of how ridiculous it is. I don't think
Hmm.
he hates it. I think he just sees,
Yeah,
like he
yeah.
was really young to be playing a sheriff and all that kind of
Mm.
stuff. But yeah, it's a fun movie. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
like it's not a masterpiece, but
Yeah.
I have a good time when I watch it.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
And there's a few unsettling little things. But yeah,
Yeah.
anyway, I love that they just decided to bring that up in this
Oh man, absolutely.
twice.
Yeah, 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 exactly. But no, the soundtrack album for this movie is phenomenal. It's just got such a great mixture of songs, but I don't know, they're all really good songs. It's just sort of, I think it's one of those cases where the soundtrack album kind of captures the fun spirit of the movie, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's always a great album to put on at any given time. So yeah, no, highly recommend that album. Um, yeah, especially for fans of the film, but if you're a fan of the film, you probably already heard it a few times. What are you looking up there?
The soundtrack.
Ah, there you go. Um, yeah, no, I thought the songs were really well used in the film as well. Yeah. Um, no. What else? You got anything else? Because
Oh, when they are with the orangutan at the end of whatever movie that they
more
were,
rats.
yeah,
Hmm.
wasn't that Suzanne?
Yes.
Yeah, so it is the same orangutan. Because you said
Yeah.
you thought it was different.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Because I know like I said in that episode that there was uh, I think a single issue comic that um elaborated on that story as well. But
Well, anyway, they
did they
decided to
name
call
her
this.
Suzanne in this film? Oh, okay, cool, cool.
Yeah, her
Uh,
name was on the cage.
oh, of course it was. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh man, I'm sure there's other things to talk about in this film because, like I said, it's just one of those things. It's kind of like Mallrats in a way, in that it has a basic plot, but there's so much going on around that basic plot that
Mm.
drives it along. Um, but
Except I do think this is better than Mallrats.
oh, I
Mm.
there's no doubt in my mind, like absolutely. And there was did you spot the Scott Mosier cameo in this? You know, the producer who's in every single film. Actually, he's in
Um,
two roles in this film.
yeah, because he's the one that's the stoner guy
Yep,
that
so
was
he
at
was
the
at the end,
end.
like, that's beautiful, man. Yep.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
he was also on the set of Good Will Hunting 2, the assistant director on that one.
is that
Um,
the one that was putting them into place?
yes. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Oh man, so that's another moment. Like, yeah, when they roll cameras and everything, and Jay and Silent Bob are in the background, like they walk off set, and then you just see someone pushing them back onto the set again, and they're still just rolling with it. Like that was fucking brilliant. I love that.
And it was fun they were about to go cause trouble and then they realized that
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah,
wasn't the right movie set. So they were
yeah,
like,
exactly.
okay, it's fine. They're not playing us.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, I think I've got to watch this movie more often because, yeah, it's real. I love all the looks to camera as well,
Mm.
with those sort of subtle jokes like, um, man, I'm trying to think of specific examples now,
Well,
but
wasn't the one with Ben where they said about who wants to go see them in a movie or something?
yeah, it was something like, oh, yeah,
Mm.
who wants to pay
Who would
money
pay
to
to see, yeah, you
something
guys
like
in a
that or whatever,
movie?
and then they just all look at the camera. I love
Mm.
that there was one though where it then cuts to a different camera angle and they're all still looking off, but then they sort of turn back to each other, and it's kind of like in my brain, I'm sort of like, so are they looking at an imaginary camera that is an actual camera? Like, you know what I mean? Like, do the characters see an imaginary camera? Like, yeah,
Wow, you thought a lot
I
about
really overthought that. I
that.
really did. Because in my mind, it should have been they turn, look at the camera, then back to each other, and then it cuts to a different
See,
angle, you
I
know?
would just think it's like TV where there's just multiple cameras and they just look at the
Yeah.
one that's the active camera and then it's
Yeah.
switched to
Yeah.
another camá too
Oh, yeah. No,
quickly.
I went deep with that one. Yeah. Yeah. But I also, I like uh, the conclusion, where they're having the sort of big gunfight on set and everything. And, Justice and what was Eliza Dushku's character's name? Sissy. They're having their big, rather stupid fight. Um, and yeah, I like that Justice turned herself in and all that sort of stuff, and actually took the bullet and like went to jail and stuff, and yeah, but I like that she was present in that end, you know, Morris Day sequence, even though she was in the prison. So I do love that bit though, where she's in shackles and everything, like she's jumping around and everything, and then just like falls over. I thought that was I don't know. There's just something really cute about her character. But yeah, I dug that ending. I thought that was cool. Yeah, so yeah,
Mm.
I kind of love this movie. I really do.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. You got anything else?
Don't think so. Haven't got anything
Yeah.
else written down.
Yeah, I didn't have anything written down, but maybe if I did, this could have been a 3 hour episode. Who knows?
Mm.
Uh, nah, all right. Well, I reckon, yeah, that's probably about all we got to say. If you have
Mm.
not seen Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, I would highly recommend watching
Wow.
Clerks,
Yeah,
Mallrats, Chasing Amy, and Dogma. Oh, well,
you might as well.
loosely. I
Um,
mean, Carrie Fisher's character did have the Buddy Christ on her dashboard, which I thought was cool. Um, yeah, yeah, you may as well. I wonder, would this movie be as funny if you hadn't? I mean, I can't really imagine what it would be like to watch this movie.
well, yeah, there'd be a lot of jokes that you wouldn't get
Yeah, it'd
or
probably actually.
references you wouldn't get. So you'd be like, and when they look to camera, you'd be like, what does that mean?
And things like Brody's, thing dialogue at the start with the chocolate covered pretzel and it would make no sense whatsoever.
Although that
Um,
might work better if it makes no sense.
maybe. Yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting point. Like I said, I can't really imagine what it would be like, not having seen the other films, but yeah. But yeah, anyway, yeah, both of us highly recommend this film. If you are in any way inclined to talk to us, we would love to hear from you. If you're watching this on YouTube, down in the comments, list some of your favorite moments from this film. What are some of the things that absolutely cracked you up more than anything has ever done so in the past. Well, that's maybe a bit of an exaggeration, but or if you're listening out there, you can find us on social media. If you Google Dan and Frankie Go to Hollywood, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Blue Sky, we're just
Hmm.
everywhere. So
And
yeah,
you can email us at
you can email us
danandfrankiepodcast@gmail.com.
or outlook.com because we're a huge organization with so many email addresses. Yeah, oh my goodness. Yeah. And unlike Jay, we actually know how to use the internet. So, uh, what the fuck is the internet? I love that so much. Anyway, all right, we are out of here. Thank you
Mm.
very much to
Yeah, I
everyone.
think I might go watch Good Will Hunting now.
Yes, yes, that
Mm.
is absolutely good. Well, I mean, aside from that, it is one of the most brilliant movies ever made. You
Yeah, I've been
need to
meaning to
watch
get
it.
to it for a long time. But
Yeah, yeah.
also, like every time I watch a movie that has Matt and Ben together, I'm like, yeah, I want to see more. I need to watch
Hmm.
Good Will Hunting. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
yeah, I don't get to it. I forget.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. And then, yeah, like I said, it's going to be a really entertaining experience for you because you're just going to be like, oh, okay, that's where all that comes from. I just realized that I had other lights I could have turned on. Do you want to re-record this whole thing? Because I look a lot better now. No? Okay, fair enough. All right. Yes, no, thank you everyone for sticking around. We will catch you on the next episode, whatever that is, whatever that is. Who knows? We're just always here. So stay safe, watch lots of view askew movies, and bye for now.